Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. This is, of course, episode 3 of CCW Fight Night, and I would like to kick this episode off with an apology, first and foremost. As many of you know, as I've talked about previously, my intended schedule for CCW stuff, custom universe stuff, and so on is I want to stream Fight Night live on Fridays and then put out a pre-recorded episode of Dark Side on on Wednesdays. Uh, Unfortunately, I was unable to do so this past Friday. I wasn't able to stream Fight Night on Friday uh, as I was as my parents were coming down to visit and I was spending time with them. So instead, for this week, what we're going to do is we're going to have a really shortened schedule. So I'm recording this. I'm going to put this up Tuesday night. I'm going to put up Fight Night episode 3 Tuesday night, and then I'm going to record and release Dark Side on Wednesday. And then we should be back to the normal schedule. Friday we'll have our Fight Night stream. So yeah, a really compressed week for CCW content, but that's just how it's going to be based on the visit from my parents happening this past weekend. I hope all of you can enjoy. I hope all of you guys enjoy. I apologize for missing the stream on Friday night, and I hope that we can get the viewers in for the next stream this coming Friday. But I hope that you guys enjoy tonight's card that we have booked for you here on episode 3 of Fight Night. And let's take a look at this card right away. So as you can see, we're going to kick things off tonight with a matchup that goes back to episode 2 of Fight Night. So last week on Fight Night, we were supposed to see Ethan versus Garrett. Of course, that ended in a no contest after Nick, Garrett's former tag team partner, came out to the ring while Garrett was making his ring entrance, and jumped him from behind, and the match ended in a no contest. Well, Garrett is currently at home, still recovering from some of the injuries that still recovering from some of the bumps and bruises that were given to him by his former tag team partner, Nick. But instead, in his place, a fully healthy and very gung-ho tag team partner of his, Aiden, is stepping up to take on Nick. These two men, former friends, now going to step in the ring and turn bitter rivals. Aiden makes his in-ring debut here on Fight Night. But Nick, of course, never the one to be alone, especially with the Chicken Tendy crew. He is going to bring the big bad bruising tag team of David and Nate Dogg to ringside with him. And ladies and gentlemen, I assure you that this is going to be a hell of a matchup between these two. And I hope that we get to see a clean finish this time instead of what we saw last time, that disgraceful attack from behind. Well, anyway, in match number 2, we're going to see Shan and JP. Of course, these two ladies looking to get back in the winners column after a couple of big defeats. For JP, it goes back to episode 1 of CCW Fight Night, where she was in that over-the-top rope battle royal to become the women's champion, won by Manik. And she has not appeared on Fight Night since then. And tonight JP will be looking to get back in the winners column against Shan, another woman who just last week lost a submission match to her former best friend Emily. And these two women, again, are Shan, a former women's champion, JP, all the tools to become a women's champion. But they need a little bit of momentum to get back on the right track, and I think both these ladies are going to look for a little bit of momentum here tonight as they go one-on-one. And then in our third match, well, last week we had the CN Tower was in a non-title tag team match against their good buddies Willie the Wheel and Retro Jordan. Well, tonight, after last week's shocking upset, the Time Travelers as they beat CN Tower. Well, tonight, Nick T and Christian look to get a little bit of revenge as Nick T goes one-on-one with Willie the Wheel. Both tag team partners will be at ringside. Retro Jordan in the corner of Willie the Wheel, and Christian in the corner of Nick T, and what is sure to be one hell of a pro wrestling contest. And in our next match, and also later tonight, we're going to see Logan Matrix has been telling everybody all week that he's been waiting for Brad after the Openweight Championship match last week, where Brad defeated Logan Matrix to become the new Openweight champion. Logan has been looking all over for Brad, and tonight I think he may get his hands on him, but we'll see as we go through the night. And then in our semi-main event tonight, after a huge debut on CCW Dark Side, Sarah and Chelsea have welcomed their newest tag team partner, Tamara, to the fold. And these three women have been on a roll as of late. Of course, Chelsea winning the #1 contendership on episode 1 of Fight Night. Sarah pinning Monique in a non-title match the second week here on Fight Night. And Tamara, of course, making that incredible debut on Dark Side last week. These three women have been on a roll, and Monique, the women's champion, got a couple of women who have also taken issue with Sarah, Chelsea, and Tamara to the ring tonight to look to put a stop to the momentum that this group is building. It'll be Monique, Emily, and Cece taking on Sarah, Tamara, and Chelsea in a 6-women elimination tag team matchup here in the semi-main event. And in the main event, of course, last week, Dustin, our new Canadian champion, went one-on-one with Dylan last week. After the matchup was jumped by Daniel. Daniel tonight has said that he's going to prove that he can do anything that Dustin can do, he can do better. So Daniel will go one-on-one with Dylan in the main event, as Daniel looks to stake his claim to the Canadian Championship. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our card. Let's get down to showtime. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CCW Fight Night. Of course, this is a special Tuesday edition. We are live here in Saskatoon, Canada. We are live here tonight for Fight Night. And of course, a special Tuesday edition. And what better way to kick off a special edition of Fight Night than with a rivalry that is beginning to bubble to the surface. Last week, Garrett versus Ethan was the scheduled matchup as Garrett made his way to the ring. His former tag team partner and current member of the Chicken Tendy crew, Nick E., made his way down to the ring and jumped his former tag team partner from behind, resulting in a couple of bumps and bruises, and was not medically cleared to compete this week. Garrett is currently at home recovering, so he can't take his revenge on Nicky. But Garrett has a tag team partner, and his tag team partner is finally going to make his debut here tonight. Ooh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. His tag team partner is finally going to make his debut here tonight. Aiden is going to take up the fight that his partner Garrett is in, and he is going to take that fight to Nick E. He is going to fight for the he's going to fight for his tag team partner tonight, as Aiden looks to get a little bit of revenge on Nick E. And of course, the personal history between Garrett and Nick is deep, but the personal history between Nick and Aiden is deep as well. But let's send it down to ringside for the ring introductions. And ladies and gentlemen, here he comes. Of course, the Scottish warrior, the Scottish lineage warrior, Aiden, making his way to ringside. Of course, you see the warrior lineage there on the back. Battle ready, battle proven on the front of the t-shirt. And again, we talk about the history between Nick and Garrett. They were the longest reigning tag team champions in CCW history. But we also need to talk about the history between Nick and Aiden. Aiden and Nick and Garrett at one point inseparable friends. These three were the three best of friends that you would ever know. These three men did so much together growing up as young men. And tonight, and to see the drastic change in personality that Nick has gone through, joining the Chicken Tendy crew, really becoming this totally different person than you'd ever know, has really soured his former friends Garrett and Aiden, especially the attacks on Garrett. And tonight, Aiden gonna try and get a little bit of revenge for his tag team partner, and show the world why he is a former world champion in this organization. Well, now making his way to the ring, of course, flanked by the big bad bruising tag team of Nate Dogg and David, representing the Chicken Tendy crew, the mafia of pro wrestling. Nick E making his way to the ring. He's got the Chicken Tendy crew jersey on, and oh, there's David and Nate just disappear, I guess. He's got the Chicken Tendy crew jersey on, the moose head cap, the towel around his neck. One of the best in-ring competitors, bell to bell, one of the best wrestlers in this company. Yet he feels like he has to, be in the Chicken Tendy crew and use the advantages that the Chicken Tendy crew get him to get ahead in this company. And again, remember, ladies and gentlemen, still a theme running throughout this entire reintroduction of CCW. The Chicken Tendy crew have yet to win a match. Could this be the one where they get back on track? And now Aiden gonna pick Nick up, but Nick gonna flip it around into a DDT. And right there, right to the just throwing punches into the face of Aiden. And Nick has made no bones about it. He is a different person. He's not sitting around waiting to get a beer with Aiden and Garrett after the show. He wants to put a hurting on people, win championships, and prove why he is one of the best goddamn wrestlers on planet Earth. And tonight, he gets a chance to get in there with a former world champion and prove it. But right now, being just absolutely tossed around, and this is what you got to worry about if you're Nick. Yeah, you are a great in-ring competitor. Yes, you are one of the best. But Aiden is a pure powerhouse, and there was a reason he was the world champion at one point in this company. Big German there, delivered by Nick. And again, we send our thoughts and prayers we send our thoughts, prayers, and well wishes to Garrett, who's currently at home, nursing a few injuries that he sustained last week when Nick jumped him from behind. Of course, right now he's got to be watching this match with a smile on his face as his tag team partner Aiden is just taking the fight to Nick. But now Nick, a couple of those forearm elbow shots, and now gonna try and take the advantage for himself. And of course, Nick, and again, we got to remember that at any point when this match becomes hairy, because you know it's going to between these two former friends, at any point when this match gets hairy, Nate Dogg and David are out at ringside. Garrett is not here. Aiden's tag team partner is not here. Big boot in the corner. Aiden's tag team partner, Garrett, is not here. He is not going to be of any help to Aiden here tonight. Nate Dogg, Nick's brother, and David, the enforcers of the Chicken Teddy Crew, the big bruising tag team for the Chicken Teddy Crew, are out at ringside. And you know that word has come down from on high for the Chicken Teddy Crew members from Daniel. Word has come down. Oh, future shock. Word has come down from Daniel that they're going to need 1, 2, and a kick out. But word has come down from Daniel that the Chicken Teddy Crew haven't won a match yet. They are yet to win a match here in the reboot of CCW. And I bet Daniel wants that to change as Aiden powerbombs Nick to the outside. What a power bomb. And now Aiden. And I told you, this is personal. Nick wants to hurt Aiden. Aiden wants to hurt Nick. These two men, former friends, and now look what they're willing to do to each other. Gut-wrench powerbomb on the floor by Aiden. And now Aiden going to break the count. And again, countouts, disqualifications, all still in effect here, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a no disqualification match, even though I think that might have been the better choice. Just let these two men beat the hell out of each other and get it out of their systems before somebody ends up dying. And now Nick going to continue to rub the foot across the face, and now big boot in the corner. But as I was saying earlier, the Chicken Teddy Crew have not won a match yet in CCW. Daniel, the word from on high, Daniel the leader, Daniel, one of the leaders of the Chicken Teddy Crew, saying down to the other members, saying, hey, we got to pick up a win, and soon, if we're going to get any kind of respect in this company. As Aiden floats into the cover on Nick. 1, 2, and a kick out by Nick. But they need to start picking up some wins here really quick. And Claymore busts open Nick into the cover. This is over. 1, 2, and oh no, Nick kicks out. Blood streaming down the forehead of Nick. And he refuses to quit. Aiden now to the top rope. And you don't really see Aiden up here often, but now going to call Nick to his feet. Oh, and a jumping chop to the top of the head. Nick has been brutalized in this match. Catches the gut kick. No. What is this? Oh. What a move there. I don't even know what that was. Oh, powerbomb. Flips him over. Final flash. Into the cover. This is it. No rope break. Aiden's foot in the ropes, and you see Nate Dogg and David there at ringside. But now look at this. 7-star lariat. This could be all over. Coquina clutch. He's going to tap Aiden out. These two former friends. He's going to tap out his former buddy. And Aiden taps. Nick has finally picked up a victory for the Chicken Teddy Crew by way of submission. What a brutal affair that was. And now David and Nate Dogg in the ring. And they're going to celebrate with Nick E. And what an insurance policy that those two men are. Didn't get involved. Nick beats Aiden. Center of the ring. I thought that was going to be a lot more of a controversial finish, ladies and gentlemen, but what a match. The brutality on another level. And unfortunately for Garrett, his tag team partner can't get any revenge for him. But the Chicken Tendy crew now have their first win here in CCW. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we need to move past this now as we look to our next matchup, of course. Two women who have been on a similar style of who have been on a similar who've suffered big losses recently. Of course, JP on episode 1 of Fight Night losing was thrown over the top rope during that battle royal to crown the women's champion. Shan was in the same battle royal, thrown over the top rope. But then last week, Shan was also here on Fight Night, where she lost a submission match to her former friend, Emily, in what was an absolutely brutal affair. Both of these women, both very capable competitors, but which one of them will get back on the winning track here tonight in singles competition? Let's send it down to the ringside. Let's send it down to ringside for ring introductions. And here she comes, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Shan making her way to the ring. Not too broken up by the looks of her, by the feel of the energy and the aura that I got from her. Not too upset about her multiple week losing streak that she's accrued here in CCW's rebrand, as she makes her way to the ring. She still knows that she's a very capable, very credible competitor here in CCW, and that she is a former women's champion. She knows that she can reach the mountaintop. She just needs to pick up some wins and gain some momentum to try and get there. And I think tonight we're going to see Shan get back in the winning column. JP is an incredible competitor, but I think Shan has what it takes to beat JP here tonight. And speaking of, we have one half of the Heartbreak Chicks, JP, making her way to the ring. Of course, the Heartbreak Chicks, that is her tag team. Her tag team with her best friend Riley. Of course, these two women, gonna trying to make a name for themselves in the women's division. Riley, of course, involved in week 1 in the triple threat match for the number 1 contendership, which was eventually won by Chelsea. Which we will speak about. The number 1 contendership won by Chelsea, which we will speak about later. Some breaking news on that front. But JP now, of course, was in the battle royal to crown the women's champion, and unfortunately unsuccessful in that. But looking to get back into the hunt potentially with a win here tonight. Of course, you never know what happens. You knock off a former women's champion like Shan. You never know what could happen. And here we go. Bell has rung. Shan and JP. I'd give the strength advantage to Shan here tonight. And look at this. Ooh, big head scissors by Shan. I'd give the strength advantage to Shan, but I mean the craftiness of JP definitely going to have to be a factor here tonight if she is hoping to win this match. Big super kick to Shan, and now boom, big knee strike. And both these women will do anything to win. A mean streak a mile long in each of them, as JP with this kind of senton didn't really catch all of it, but Shan knocked to the mat even still, and now going to work over the legs of her slightly bigger opponent, of her slightly taller opponent. You're going to try and take the base out maybe and try and keep Shan on the mat. A great way to take away your opponent's offense is to take out their legs as Shan fires back with a couple chops. Now some body shots of her own is JP. Now up on the shoulders goes Shan. Oh! What a... Wow, that was like a Belfast... what was it? The old move that Finley used to do. Anyway, big drop kick off the top, but I think Shan just shrugged it off. And now set over the top rope is Shan. And now the former women's champion in a little bit of trouble, in some trouble here early on in this matchup, as JP rolls to the outside and striking away at Shan. Boom! Big super kick finds the mark. Gonna flip her over. Boom! But Shan hits with that big back elbow, misses the slap. Boom! Another big back elbow. And now gonna throw her down on the mat. Disrespectful. Stomping away, kicking away. And this is why... Oh, and now JP catches the leg. And these women got to be careful. These two women got to be careful not to get counted out. Count at 7. Both of these women, again, I said a mean streak, a mile long. Not opposed, definitely not opposed to getting counted out to inflict some punishment on your opponent, as Shan with a quick fury of strikes into the takeover before kicking her in the back. And now Shan gonna work away with those kicks, and now thought she was gonna go for a ground and pound, but JP flips that over and just elbows her in the face. Big DDT on the outside as this match continues here. Now whipped across the way onto the mat. And JP, boom, big overhand shot. Oh, pay dirt. What a move. JP just hit pay dirt on Shan on the outside, and now into the bow and arrow stretch. Stretching Shan on the outside. A count of 7. Shan finally floats over, finally gets out of that bow and arrow stretch. 8 count. Bam! Oh, Shan. And 9. And referee a little slow on the 10, but now Shan some big clotheslines, and then a leg lariat into the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by JP. That was a very bizarre. I think the 10 count. I think he didn't want. Oh, check kick by Shan. Maybe looking for that what the flip DDT, the WTF. No, instead, went for the DDT. JP finds a way out of it. And this is where JP's craftiness has got to come into it. The power of Shan versus the craftiness of JP. And JP, again, another reversal. But now Shan into a suplex, dropping JP. You're going to pull her out into a more suitable ring placement area. 1, 2, and a kick out by JP. These two women have beat the hell out of each other this entire match. A boom, big forearm shot drops JP. These two women have beat the hell out of each other, trying to get back in the winners column. Big kick to the side of the face. JP gonna call Shan back up onto her feet. And now getting the fingers wrenched in the nose, trying to rip the face off of Shan. And now once again going back to the attack on the legs. A very interesting strategy here from JP. I'll wait for the drop kick, but Shan was underneath. Shan now whips her outside, whips JP to the outside before following her out. And now JP, getting the arm worked over by Shan. Oh, caught. Big super kick. And now standing on the face of JP. Or sorry, it's JP standing on the face of Shan. And I'm going to throw her down, back of the head and shoulders into the padding on the outside, thin padding over the concrete floor. And now once again going to disrespect her opponent. And this is not an attitude that I've seen very much from JP in her time so far here in CCW. Back into the bow and arrow stretch. Maybe this is the attitude she's needed to unlock a little bit here to be successful in this women's division. The bow and arrow stretch now applied, and Shan gonna fight her way out of it. But a little cocky, but a little bit more of the mean streak that I was talking about before. Shan rolls back in the ring. JP hooks the foot, gets her a little bit of a distraction, and now JP gonna join her back in the ring at the count of 8. And now a flipping Canadian Destroyer! Canadian Destroyer! Into the cover. 1, 2, 3. JP with a Canadian Destroyer out of nowhere. These two women were brawling on the floor. Shan gets back inside. JP comes back inside, hits a Canadian Destroyer out of thin air. And JP is back in the winner's column. What a matchup, ladies and gentlemen. What a finish. What a finish to that match. And JP gets her name back in the winner's column. And that is an incredible, ladies and gentlemen. What a win for JP. Well, now I'm being told that we have a little bit of a... that we're... well, now I'm being told that up next is the new tag team champions. One half of the tag team champions, Nick T, looking to get a little retribution after a little retribution on Willie the Wheel after Willie the Wheel and his tag team partner Retro Jordan, the Time Travelers, were able to pin the tag team champions last week in non-title tag team action. Of course, this matchup, Willie the Wheel the matchup last week, Willie the Wheel and Retro Jordan versus CN Tower, was of course asked for by CN Tower personally. They asked for this matchup, and of course they just couldn't put away Willie the Wheel and Retro Jordan. So tonight, Nick T looking to go it alone in singles competition and take on Willie the Wheel. These two men, two of the better competitors inside the wrestling ropes. So I'm sure this will be a Matt classic. Of course, as well, they will be flanked by their respective tag team partners. And I've never known Nick T to get personally involved in a matchup, but maybe tonight he's going to, as we see Willie the Wheel make his way to the ring. Of course, they're flanked by Retro Jordan. Never mind. Willie the Wheel, of course, a fan favorite pre-rebrand. The hashtag Gingervitis movement, definitely here in Saskatoon, as Willie the Wheel looks to take the fight to an old friend. Yes, the friendship between Willie the Wheel, Retro Jordan, Christian, and Nick T has been well documented. These men have done so much together. They have been through so much together. And now a little bit of interpersonal friendly rivalry might be brewing. A competitive rivalry might be brewing. After a frankly disappointing outing from CN Tower, just not being able to get the job done. But Nick T's not going to let that memory last very long, as he comes out here and he is going to be 100% focused in on the task at hand, which is going to be beating Willie the Wheel. And here he comes, yes, Pro Wrestling Super Saiyan, one half of the Canadian Tag Team Champions, Nick T, making his way to the ring. Of course, this man, in this entire universe mode, has been a tag team competitor alongside his good buddy Christian. But the plans originally were they were going to be given the championship, the opportunity to defend their tag team championships on week 1 of Fight Night in a ladder match. Should they if they were to have lost and somebody else was to become the tag team champions, they were going to mutually separate. They were going to mutually agree to separate, to go their separate ways, and embark on singles careers, which Nick T has been asking for a very long time. But once they won the tag team championships, they said, well, we're still the best tag team in CCW, so let's defend them. And now Nick T and Willie the Wheel getting set to go underway here. Big kicks, big chops off the bat by Willie the Wheel into a DDT. And this is what you got to do if you're Willie the Wheel. You don't want to let Nick T get into this matchup. When we talk about the best grapplers, the best in-ring bell-to-bell wrestlers in this company, you talk about Nicky, you talk about Nick T, you talk about pretty much those two guys, Nick T and Nick E, the two premier bell-to-bell workers in this company. They are so smart, and Nick T especially, so smart, so ruthless, so a student of the game. They've been watching wrestling, learning about wrestling for so long that their moveset, their base is just their base knowledge is just incredible. And a referee a count of 8, 9 as Willie the Wheel slides back into the ring, and a big Northern Lights suplex there by Nick T. But yeah, as I was saying, Nick T, his knowledge base, his moveset, the ways that he can physically punish an opponent is just so vast. It's incredible to watch as he hits the big drop kick to Willie the Wheel into the cover 1 and a kick out by Willie the Wheel. But yes, it's any wonder that Nick T hasn't had many championship reigns. And yes, a couple people may say that I'm disrespecting Willie the Wheel. Of course, is a former Intercontinental Champion, a former champion in his own right here in CCW. Shouldn't go overlooked. And I'm not overlooking the Willie the Wheel's accomplishments. The Intercontinental Championship reign was incredible. Moonsault missed by Nick T as Willie the Wheel rolls out of the ring. But Nick T is a different kettle of fish than going in there against Nate Dogg, the pure brawler, the pure powerhouse. This is Nick T, who can outthink you, out-wrestle you, and then talk your ear off while he's doing it. Big code breaker there, knocks down Willie the Wheel. And now Nick T looking to pull him into the middle of the ring, looking to put him in. Oh, Lion Tamer. Is Willie going to tap out? Oh, I think Willie's going to tap. No. Nick T going to let him go, but then into the cover right away. He's so smart. 1, 2. I want a kick out. And what a smart move. Out of the submission hold, doesn't get the tap, moves directly into the pin, and out of the top rope goes Nick T, continuing to apply pressure, continuing to attack into the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Willie the Wheel. But that's one thing that I did overlook. The heart, the toughness, the grit of Willie the Wheel. He is not going to quit. He is not going to tap out. He's going to keep going until he physically cannot continue. That is why he is a beloved superstar here in CCW, a beloved performer here in CCW. That is why he is one half of arguably the most popular tag team in CCW. This man does not quit. Big European uppercut knocks down Nick. The quick strikes now coming fast and furious towards Nick T. Pulled into the center of the ring. And now Willie the Wheel going to go into a heel hook. Is he going to tap Nick T out? No, Nick T is going to fight his way out of that. And that is why this matchup is so... there's so many layers to this matchup. The incredible wrestling that both of these two men can do. The incredible wrestling mind, the wrestling IQ of Nick T versus the undeniable gigantic heart of Willie the Wheel is truly incredible. Now Nick T setting up for that split second kick into the cover. It's over. 1, 2, 3. Nick T beats Willie the Wheel. A little bit of retribution for the tag team loss last week. Nick T pins Willie the Wheel. And what a huge victory for Nick T. And of course, Willie the Wheel. Dejected, of course. You never want to lose a match, especially this competitive, and especially when you had so much momentum going in to this matchup with a tag team victory last week and all that. But Willie will bounce back. I know Willie will bounce back. So Willie, I know you'll watch this back later. Don't get down on yourself. You're going to come back from this. You're going to be better than ever. And ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our attention from Willie the Wheel and Nick T and what we just saw there, the wrestling genius, because there's a developing situation backstage. Last week, Brad took on Logan Matrix one-on-one for the Openweight Championship. Of course, week 1 of Fight Night, we had a tremendous triple threat match for the Openweight Championship between Logan Matrix, Brad, and Nikki. It looked like Brad had the match won when he hit the Swanton bomb on Nikki, went for the cover. Logan Matrix came in the ring, broke it up, and then threw Brad out of the ring before pinning Nick himself. So last week they went one-on-one to determine, to finally answer the question who should be the Openweight champion. Brad would win the match, but right now what we're hearing is that Logan Matrix is backstage. Oh, Logan Matrix and Brad starting ringside here. Logan Matrix was on his way out to. Brad was on his way out to talk to the audience about his Openweight Championship reign, and then Logan Matrix jumping him from behind. Logan Matrix now into the ring. This is not a sanctioned match, ladies and gentlemen. These two men who have been so interwoven in each other's stories over the past 3 weeks have just decided that have just exploded here. These two men cannot stand each other. The Openweight champion right now getting his ass kicked by the young Matrix, by the former Openweight champion, Logan Matrix. And that was a leg drop. I don't think he got all of that, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a ugly, furious mess of humanity. Big leg sweeping on Brad. Yeah, tell the world. Yeah, you're the guy. You're the man, Brad. Big kick to the gut. Oh, went for the cross body. He hits it. And now Brad trying to kind of defend his turf. He last week, the reason that he was in a one-on-one championship match is because he thought he should have been the openweight champion. He thought that he had the match won, deserved the right to be the openweight champion. He won the openweight championship, but now Logan Matrix thinks that he got screwed. And this nice springboard DDT. Oh, and now a knee drop. And these two men now going to beat the hell out of each other until one of them is unable to get up and walk out of this situation. Knowing these two men, this is only gonna end when one of these two men cannot finish the fight. And that is a scary thought as Brad goes to the top rope. Swanton bomb, that's how he won the title last week. But Logan Matrix got the knees up. Whip off the ropes, drop kick, drops Brad. Brad went for the Swanton bomb. That's the same move he used to become openweight champion. And now Logan Matrix dropping the elbow across the back from the top rope. Logan to the top rope now. Calling him up to his feet. Went for the drop kick, but no one home. Drop kick again. No, Brad into a powerbomb position. Oh! Fade away into the splash by Brad. Another splash by Brad. A third splash by Brad. And now finally going to pull him back up to his feet. Twist of fate. Lays him out. He's in position. Brad, this is how he won the openweight title last week. Swanton bomb. And now cross body drops Matrix. Logan has not defended himself from any of the shots since the twist of fate. Big kick to the back. And now Logan finally going to fight back. And now into this modified camel clutch. Working the back of Brad. The openweight champion in trouble here. And now Logan going to let it go. Going to continue to beat him down. Big knee to the face. And now the punches. Oh, bam! Clubbing blow. Logan Matrix to the top rope. The elbow. Right on the forehead. What pinpoint accuracy to hit him on the forehead with the tip of the elbow. Logan going back up. Body splash, but Brad puts the knees up. Big clothesline by Logan. Another big clothesline knocks him down. Underneath. Up. Drop kick. And I think Brad's out on his feet. I think Brad's been knocked out by the drop kick. Logan Matrix just put a whooping. I don't know why he's celebrating. This is not a sanctioned matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Logan Matrix getting a measure of revenge here tonight for losing his openweight championship by knocking out the new openweight champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we WWE 2K22 still gonna WWE 2K22. Anyway, we move on to our next match, which has got the hottest team in women's wrestling. Chelsea, Sarah, and Tamara. These three women have been on a roll of rolls. Week 1, Chelsea wins a triple threat match to become the new #1 contender to the women's championship. The following week on Fight Night, Sarah goes one-on-one with the women's champion Monique, and she pins Manik. Then last week on the debut episode of Dark Side, Tamara would make her in-ring debut. Tamara would make her in-ring debut where she would defeat CC in singles competition, showing that the powerhouse of this team is here and is ready to go. So tonight, the women's champion Manik went to CCW management. She said, I want to take on all three of these women, but I have a couple partners who want to help me take down these women." So Emily, fresh off of a submission match victory over her former friend and turned bitter rival Shan last week on Fight Night, teams with the women's champion Manik and CC to take on Chelsea, Sarah, and Tamara. And ladies and gentlemen, we were talked a little bit earlier about the breaking news in this situation. Next week on Fight Night, the first Fight Night back live after a week away, Chelsea goes one-on-one with Manik for the women's championship. Let's go down to ringside as we get the ring introductions underway here. And of course, here come the originals. Tamara in the orange, Chelsea in the red, Sarah in the green. These three women have been on a roll lately. Such momentum as Chelsea will head into her women's championship match next week. Sarah, and all three of these women, you're looking at three of the toughest women in the women's division. Sarah, Tamara, former rugby players, former basketball players, very tough, very athletic. Of course, Tamara raised on the farm. She's farm tough. Sarah raised with many different siblings, so she's tough. Chelsea, of course, also a tough SOB, but they're gonna have to go up against Manik. Of course, Manik looking a little different in her entrance attire here tonight, showing off a new modeling outfit. Of course, the mixed martial artist, also a model. The former martial artist, also a model. And we were talking about the toughness of Sarah, Chelsea, and Tamara. Manik, again, former martial artist. She is as tough as they come in the women's division, of course. And we've talked about this before, but training at the Chicken Tendy Crew Dojo with Nikki E prior to debuting here. So she's got a lot of toughness, a lot of grit, a lot of combat experience. And of course, she's going to be flanked by two women who want to take out these three women just as bad as she does. The Femme Fatales, Emily, the boss babe energy of Emily is going to be in the ring tonight, along with CC, who is looking for some retribution from Dark Side, where she was the one who was the opponent for Tamara in her in-ring debut, or in her debut. Now, all six of these women want to get at each other, and I understand that. But if you're Manik, you got to remember that you have a championship match next week. You want to try and stay out of this matchup as much as possible, while still making sure that Chelsea is also in the ring as much as possible. As she's throwing a 7-star lariat out there, that's definitely an homage to her friend Nick. And then comes Emily, who, the boss babe energy, of course. You know that she's tough if you watched her submission match last week, you know she's tough. Sarah now, top rope, big arm drag. And again, the athleticism of the originals versus the the toughness, the grit, the sheer determination of CC, Minik, and Emily. As Emily now going to try and take advantage of the fact that Sarah turned her back to her. Into the cover goes Emily, and this is what you're going to try and do. Quick eliminations, but Chelsea in there to break things up. And again, I think the strategy here, if you're the originals, is keep Chelsea out of the matchup as much as you can, and have Sarah and Tamara work hand in hand to kind of win this matchup. In comes Chelsea. You want to have Sarah and Tamara kind of work this hand in hand to win this matchup. Emily went for the bulldog, but Chelsea fights it out. You want to keep Chelsea healthy for next week so that she can win the championship from Minik. Oh, big power bomb. And you want to get Tamara in there because I don't think that there's anybody on the opposing team that's going power for power with Tamara. As speaking of, in comes Tamara. And this is definitely not the matchup you want if you're Minik and CC. You want to try and get a CC in there against Tamara. She seemed to do pretty well in the power for power game against Tamara in her in-ring debut. But the Boss Babe energy is definitely going to try and keep herself in here as much as she can. Big kick to the ankle. And again, if you're Minik, Emily, and CC, you kind of want to hope that CC, if you're Minik especially, you will kind of hope that Minik or that Emily and the CC can stay in there and really get the job done without you stepping in, while still trying to inflict as much pain as you can on Chelsea, so that if only one of you is healthy for next week's title match, only one of you is going to have the advantage. The one that's healthy is going to have the advantage. And now Sarah really working over Emily here. Big elbow to the top of the head. And now Sarah going to tag in Chelsea. But again, both of these women, Chelsea and Minik, both competitors. They're both very competitive people. They're not going to want to let their teammates do nothing for them. And now Emily to the top rope. Big Hurricane Rana into the power bomb. And this is the matchup that everybody wants. And we're going to get it next week. Big low drop kick. Chelsea now looking pretty good against the women's champ. Big kick to the arm. Oh, and a step over onto the midsection of Minik. And this is the matchup that we're going to see next week for the women's championship one-on-one. No partners to tag in. We're going to see these two square up one-to-one for realsies, and we're going to see which one of them walks out with the women's championship. Now, Emily back into the ring. Big back body drop. Double team by Emily and Minik. Minik to the outside. Emily now. Oh, big neck breaker to the #1 contender into the cover. 1, 2, and a kick, and broken up by Tamara. And now Tamara and Minik. Minik going to try and throw Tamara to the outside, but instead waist lock. And now dumps her over the top rope anyway. Oh, went for the bank statement potentially. Went for a basement dropkick, does Chelsea. Now Emily distracted. Big rotating clothesline drops Emily. And Minik, look at this. Gut wrench suplex on the outside to Tamara. Chelsea into the cover. 1, 2, and kick out by Emily as CC runs in. Sarah gonna whip her to the outside and then gonna follow suit. And now Emily and Chelsea, the only two women in the ring, and now only Emily. Big belly to belly. Sarah throwing CC around like it ain't nothing. Big shot. And now folding her up like a accordion. Suplex on the outside. Chelsea throwing wild strikes, reversed by Emily. And Sarah still beating the crap out of CC on the outside. Emily somehow picking up Chelsea. Boom! Into the of the apron, the ring apron. And now Emmy Lee, a little distracted by Sarah. And now Emmy Lee gonna tuck back into ringside.